All right, what's going on, good people? Full Gear Review 2020, an AEW show on the Instant Classic Wrestling Podcast. I can't believe it. Me either, DJ. Yeah, I haven't introduced anybody, so I had to answer myself. But nonetheless, uh, reviewing the show will be DJ, Adam, Justin, and Casey, of course, like always. The normal crew at this point, but overall, I enjoyed the show. I felt like it was good. For me, not being a huge AEW fanboy and kind of being a little critical of AEW at times, it's nice to see. It's nice to see AEW for what it is. And I definitely got some really good thoughts on the show. But first, I do want to give you guys a chance to like the page if you are on Facebook, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you are on YouTube, or vice versa if you want to do the other things. You can give the audio version a heart or favorite or whatever to keep it in the top of your feed so you can find us whenever we come out with something new. But nonetheless, we're going to give you a chance to do all of that, to do whatever you need to do. Get your popcorn ready, as I like to say. Google us if you need to. Whatever you need to do. Googleable. We are Googleable, as Justin would say. But nonetheless, we'll be right back, and we'll get you ready for this AEW Full Gear review on a show that was pretty darn good, I'd like to say. We'll be right back.
Let's get it.
And welcome to the Instant Classic Wrestling Podcast, the only podcast that is always an instant classic.
And your new.
And we want to punch Jim Cornette in the face repeatedly until he bleeds because he's stupid.
They're fat. They're fat.
We will see you on the flippity dippity. Oh yeah.
Terrible. The flippity dippity. Terrible. Anyway, moving into this AEW Full Gear review.
I didn't even say it.
Yeah, you said it in the intro. That's why.
Every
time I see that, I don't even have to hear it. I can hear it in my ear.
And no.
But like
real quick before we get into this, because I'm watching the Saints game. One of the players on the Saints got like a cut on his arm, and that's all they're focusing on for like 5 minutes. And I'm like, dude,
Taysom Hill.
I was like, dude, somebody cut their finger off to continue playing. Like, that's nothing. Come on,
let's. Earlier in the night, somebody put this on Twitter. There was that great GIF of Tom Brady holding up the four fingers. It says, "How many times have the Bucks punted tonight already?"
and of course, for the football fans, if you want more of this comedy and a little bit of a serious analysis every once in a while, right? We got NFL picks as well that usually are uploaded at least by Wednesday at worst. If crazy things happen, I guess by Thursday, but typically it is on Wednesday. Of course, Facebook first, and then the rest of the options after that fact. But nonetheless, AEW Full Gear, I gotta apologize. I really do. I gotta apologize to AEW. Because I've been harsh. I've been really harsh on AEW in the past. And it's not because I don't like them. It's not because I think they're a weird company. It's not that I don't think they're a real company. It's not that I don't like their style, their scheme of things, as Justin would say. It's more so like I've had some real issues, right? The mid-card was an issue for me originally. The women's division was an issue for me originally. But at the same time, I look at AEW and I'm starting to love AEW. Not even after one show, but just in general, I love the way they do things. I love the way they do business. In terms of like presenting the show to me. Number one, something we talked about before we went live tonight, which was the stage. The stage and putting detail into the stage, which we have talked about ad nauseum a million times over on this show about WWE and what they don't do. And we talked about it in the preview. We said, I think it was me that mentioned, hey, they should be doing something like I love what they're doing with the little gears going through the face thing. It felt old school. It felt like something WWE would have done in the Attitude Era or something like that. And that was cool. But like one of the things, like I was talking to Justin during the show, and I was like, there's gears in places that we won't ever see again tonight. That's amazing. Like you don't, I mean, now albeit you don't have to have these gears in these random places, but like I just thought it was cool. Like I was like, at least they put in some work for the show. They made this show feel different than a normal Dynamite. And I think like on one hand, it's like AEW. I like the presentation of it, but at the same time, it doesn't look like this huge, elaborate show all the time either. Like it still has almost like a small hometown kind of feel a little bit too.
Yeah, it feels like an indie show sometimes. You know, like it feels really old school, like something like, you know, kind of reminds me of WCW a little bit. I mean, you know, they both were on TNT at one point, you know, so
very intimate.
Right.
Exactly.
It reeks of WCW actually. Tony Schiavone's there, Eric Bischoff is there, of course. Like all the WWE guys that they signed, and albeit I'm the first one to say I do not care how many WWE guys you sign. I do not care if you sign the best talent in the world. That's what you should do. So I'm completely fine with that. I'm completely fine. I mean, let's be honest. There's been two true companies that have actually tried to compete with WWE in recent years, I guess you could say. It was WCW and it was TNA. TNA built a lot of their competitiveness off of WCW. WCW, of course, had their own little mold within themselves. So it's not bad for AEW to want to compete and say, hey, we want to compete with WWE. Go the WCW route. You can take some nuances from different things that you've learned from previous times, from previous failures that you could say.
Well, you know what? And side note, we'll have to mark this down. That would be a good topic of conversation, like on one of our discussion videos, is could TNA have ever actually been real competition? Because I feel like they could have, but I think they stopped themselves so many times with, you know, bad business deals, with having to rebrand multiple times, with multiple different owners and multiple, you know, different, just everything that, you know, has happened over the period of time that TNA has been a company. I think that would be a good conversation to have. Like, you know, what would they have needed to do to actually become? Because I think they were one of the closest, other than WCW, to actually becoming real competition for WWE.
Yeah, I could agree with that. I think that's a very valid point and definitely a discussion we'll have to have, unless it turns into a discussion right now, of course, which because you never know, But nonetheless, I mean, and I'm the first one to say AEW is not competing with WWE. They're competing with NXT first and foremost, but
Yeah.
they are
the Wednesday Night Wars, as they say.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I remember back. Okay, so the side note. So this is back during summertime. So people, like on social media, I hate. Sometimes I don't like how wrestling fans go like, "Oh, like this company's better. No, this company's better." Like, what you watch that company? Like, I just don't understand. Like, why can't you just let somebody enjoy, you know, what they're watching? Like, why do you have to nitpick? Say, "Oh, that company's bad. Like, you should be watching this company." Like, I just don't really understand what. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to jump on that real quick because, like, unless you have some sort of stock in a certain company, like you're employed by AEW or WWE or Impact, why do we have to be so like? And you know, okay, if you just want to be an AEW fanboy, that's fine. If you want to be an Impact fanboy, that's fine. But why can't we just enjoy professional wrestling in general?
Exactly.
Well, not only that, Hurricane Helms, he said this. It doesn't matter what 3 or 4 letters are before that represents the company name. If you're a wrestling fan, you're probably going to be watching a good amount of all said companies, whether it's TNA, whether it's ROH, whether it's AEW. Doesn't matter. They're now. And not to go to that route, whatever, It's like political parties now. It's WWE's the best, and if you think otherwise, you're a piece of you know what. It's like no.
It's just like you're canceled if you like that company. I'm not talking.
It doesn't matter. But like I hate the divide when it comes to wrestling fans of the quality of the product. It's like you're never going to beat Vince in terms of production value or all that. It's not happening. But don't try to be Vince. Accentuate what the positive was. That's what Paul Heyman's theory was. Accentuate the positives, hide the negatives. If we are not going to be the best at pyro and music, why go there? Go with what you know, storylines, action, this, that, and the other. It's just the only thing I will say is that there is a blind defense, and I'll use these two as an example. There's a blind defense to AEW and there's a blind defense to WWE. The things that happen on AEW and DJ, I'm with you because I've been in the same boat. There are things that AEW does that if WWE did, they'd be crucified. But because it's AEW, it's okay. And I want them. Trust me, no way, shape, or form do I want AEW to fail. I want an alternative. Unfortunately, there are times where I think they are WWE light, which is what a lot of companies in the past have done, is that they try to steal from the best, but they try to go beat for beat with it. And that, to me, ultimately goes down to ownership.
Well, and, two quick points, kind of related. So first of all, like we're talking about, all these fans are, a lot of them are, you have to watch this company because, that company sucks or whatever. Or if you're not watching this company, you're not a real wrestling fan. A lot of wrestling fans, like, their dream is to become a professional wrestler. Like, and from a worker standpoint, if I got an opportunity to work for any of these companies, I'm not going to be like, oh, well, I'm not going to work for, AEW because Impact's better or NXT is better. If I get an opportunity from a company, I'm going to take it. If I got an opportunity from Impact, I would take it. If I got an opportunity from Ring of Honor, I would take it. I don't care if it's getting me in the door and giving me, experience and a show to, show my craft. I'm going to take it. I'm not going to be like, oh, well, I don't want to work there because, I don't like the way they do this or that. No, if it's going to be a good deal for me, I'm going to take it. And then also with AEW signing former WWE guys, again, we've talked about it at length in the past. It's like, if a football player gets released from a team and goes to another team, you're not going to be like, oh, well, why are you taking all these? Like, it's so dumb. And granted, I don't want them to do everything that Impact did. I don't want them to just, I don't want them to take all of these WWE legends and, put all the weight on them. I want them to take, guys that are in their prime still, guys that can, carry the company for a long period of time, not just, for example, I love that Gangrel is in there. I hope that they keep him, but I don't want them to put all of this weight on him and, have him try to carry the company when, he's still working, don't get me wrong, but, you have so much other talent that, can still work for the next 10, 15, whatever amount of time, years. Don't put all of your eggs in, the WWE Hall of Famer basket or the former WWE, basket. Take who you can afford, take who you're actually going to use, and use everyone accordingly.
Well, not only that, to echo off that sentiment, you just nailed it on the head. You mean to tell me that, and let's take this back a handful of years. You mean to tell me if Tom Brady was out of New England, say 2011, my team, or when the Chiefs were down, when the Colts were down, you mean to tell me you wouldn't take him? It's like, yeah, of course. You hated him, but the thing is, I've said this about a lot of players. It's like, I hate that SOB, but you know what? I'd want him on my team. Of course you would. You don't, but you don't have to set your laurels on ex WWE talent. But you need to have names to get the draw. The problem with AEW, in my opinion, and DJ, I want to see what you think about this, is the way they presented a lot of these guys. They presented them like everybody knows who they are. You are appealing to a new audience. That's why you need to do more promos. You need to do more vignettes. Tell me who these are and why I should care. Not like, well, I mean, everybody's seen PWG. Everybody's, seen bar wrestling. Like, again, you're going to, I hate to say it, the lowest common denominator. You're going to the general basis.
You're going to the casual fans. Like, you need to.
You're going to the casual fans.
You need to see to get them invested. You go like, okay, why should I be invested in this person?
Right, and that's why I do like TNA is at least in a point now where they're almost like, I don't want to say like because it's not around anymore. Like the AAFL that got debunked last year. It's like, ooh, Cardell Jones and this player and that player, they were just on an NFL roster last year. I want to see how those guys are doing. TNA is kind of like that in that realm of, man, they got the Good Brothers. Oh, Eric Young went back. Ooh, EC3 went back. There's familiarity, but people would equate them to WWE guys. No, that's where they made their mark, is at that company. So that's the draw. So yeah, I mean, I listen to a few podcasts that say that, like, I don't want them just to sign WWE. Why? You mean you don't want more eyes to go to the product? Of course you do. So again, there's an unnecessary divide when it comes to a lot of these companies.
Yeah, and like you, to kind of answer your question or your comment on your comment, the whole thing with them building these guys, as far as like, I mean, I know Darby Allin, but do I really know Darby Allin? No. Private Party, I've seen him a couple of times. Do I really know him? No. There's other guys that's there that John Silver, another one that I know Casey was offended by me not knowing. Really good, by the way. Will admit, really good, by the way. But I didn't know him. I didn't know him, and the only thing I knew about him was he was some dude from the Dark Order. I'm assuming he probably had a mask on before, so that's all I knew. So yes, I definitely agree. Like, AEW does need to do a better job of saying, hey, this is who this guy is. This is what he's done. But I think they also do a pretty good job with the with the records and stuff like that. I like the records aspect of it. I like the statistical aspect of it, where we get to see, hey, this is how this person is performing under our brand. But at the same time, I like that. I don't know. It's hard to say, because I like that we're getting to see how they perform. But I think at the same time, there is a little bit missing in terms of, hey, maybe this is what they've done. This is what they've competed for. They were in that match with Cody, blah, 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 blah. Now, during the matches, they do a pretty good job with that, because I was watching the Darby Allin Cody Rhodes match, and the way they promoted that was, in terms of even just commentary, they did a very good job with it. Because I'm like, okay, yeah, Darby Allin could win this. And I mean, of course, we'll talk about it here in a little bit, or I guess we could get on it now if we want to. But as soon as I saw the video package for Darby Allin Cody Rhodes, didn't know anything about Darby Allin. Said in the preview, Darby Allin's definitely not winning this because Cody Rhodes is Cody Rhodes. Watch the video package. Yep, Darby Allin's definitely winning this match. That's really how I felt, because
we were talking on the phone. Yeah,
you look at the storyline. I'm like, Darby Allin's definitely winning this match. It's one of those he's been right there. He's been right there. He's been right there. He's been right there. He's gonna win. Like it's like, and I don't remember how many times they had faced before, but that's why I felt like he was gonna win because they had already
This
faced.
was their third time facing each other.
Exactly, they had faced before, so I was like, yeah, he's definitely gonna win. But we'll get into that in a little bit, of course. But yeah, in
Well,
terms of yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna add real quick, for the example you said, if AEW is going to or Impact or whoever is going to sign somebody that fans know from another promotion like Eric Young or EC3, if you're gonna sign somebody to try to get more eyes on your promotion, don't just do that, but make sure you're using social media to its fullest, extent, because make sure that they're posting on their social media that I'm in this company now, or I'm working here, because a lot of people, for example, like Adam was saying he scrolls through Twitter a lot. A lot of wrestling fans scroll through Twitter at their favorite wrestlers' accounts, or Instagram or whatever. If they scroll past and say, "Oh, well, so and so has a show and is on Impact tonight," or whatever, it's going to get them to go watch Impact or AEW. Whereas sometimes, for a while, back before I really got into like the independent scene, somebody would leave WWE or whatever, and I would have no idea where they went because they weren't using social media to its full potential. you know um and I feel like, especially with like WWE fans, they're unless you tell them where they went, they're not gonna seek it out. You have to kind of hold their hand and be like, okay, this guy went here, so you can watch him still.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
and
that's
two,
more for the casual fans, like
yeah,
I would say.
Yeah.
well, and
Mhm.
two with NWA, all I had to hear was yeah, 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 and I
Yes,
was like,
sir.
I'm what? All right, I'm in. I'm good now. I will watch this. I definitely will now. Like that's all I
Shut
had to
up and
hear.
listen up, dummies.
That's all. Like it's literally
And
all I had to
all I
hear.
had to see was James Storm over there. Like, yep, I'm watching this. Yep, I had to see him. Like, I don't know why I haven't been getting into NWA more. Like, speaking of NWA, did anybody watch that pre-show match?
The
Between
I
Thunder
did.
Rosa
I
and Serena Deeb.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
not
watched
Thunder
it.
Rosa. Sorry, I mean Allison Kay.
Right, Allison K. And well, Thunder Rosa came in at the end, like after everything was all said and done, and it seems
Yeah.
like she may not be done with the NWA Women's Championship, or at least competing for it a little bit. So that's interesting because there were reports, and I think even Justin had said that she had signed with NXT. So that's
Mm-hmm.
kind of
Which I
interesting.
felt like that was kind of like far fetched because she just recently lost the title. I mean, even though she lost the title, I'm like, you know what, maybe she would go to WWE. That's why I thought, and that's why everybody was, thinking that she was going to go to WWE. But hopefully she doesn't go though, because I would love if she gets signed by AEW.
Yeah, real quick on the match, I thought it was pretty good. I felt like it was a little slow for me, and it was kind of a little like I was a little disinterested. I thought I would really enjoy it, but I think there were times where I was like, this is okay. But I mean, for a pre-show match, and I hate that we have to say for a pre-show match because we've gotten accustomed to WWE throwing on these ridiculous matches on the pre-show and they just being like, so I mean, it was okay to me. I kind of enjoyed it, I guess, but
Yeah, I thought the match was all right. Also, I mean, the ending. I like the ending when Thunder Rosa came out because that kind of got me hooked. I go like, okay, this could, they could do a good rivalry over here in AEW. Like, I want them to use both of these women, and also Allison Kay. She's a free agent now. She just got released from NWA. So, have, her get signed by AEW, because I tell you, once we get talk about that women's match later, I tell you that that women's division is still lacking, in my opinion. That's one thing that's still lacking.
well, I think too,
But
Justin. One of the things that I noticed, Allison Kay, and I haven't seen her in NXT. I haven't seen her in NWA a lot, but I think she looks like she's in better shape than she was in TNA. Like, I mean, and TNA, she just didn't look like she was like in tip top, like ready to go, like compete with anybody, type shape. So I mean, it's nice to see that. It feels, and we've talked about Casey and I have talked about this before, especially how number one, when somebody comes over from WWE, they look absolutely huge. Zach Cardona, and then like it's like, was he really that big? Are you kidding me? But then at the same time, it's like, you know, there's in other companies, and Casey had made this point, in other companies, sometimes they don't really care as much about your physique and how you look per se. It's like, if you can still go in the ring, okay, cool. But, but I think, there is something to be said about the amount of work that, especially some of these men and women put into their bodies to have them be in this peak condition, because it's kind of ridiculous. Some of these people are like, are you kidding me right now? Like, what? But
Hey, Cardona, are you on the gas? Woo, woo, woo. You know it.
Well, and I'll just add that, like, you really should, I if you're in a wrestling, if you're in wrestling, you should really be working on your body, getting big, getting swole, if you will, because at the end of the day,
Big Swole? What? What? I'm just kidding.
I hate this man so much. But in professional wrestling, like, you're supposed to be larger than life. You're supposed to. You're the wrestler. You're the talent.
Casey, somebody said one time to me, I don't know who it was, but somebody said, I want to watch people that look better than me and that are bigger than me do things that I cannot do.
Well, exactly, and it's like, if you go and stand next to a fan and they're the same size as you or bigger than you, why are you in the ring and they're not? Like, why am I paying to watch you when he's bigger and looks in better shape? Like, it doesn't make sense. So,
hey, don't mock this Kevin Owens physique. My debut's next week.
I mean, okay, I give you that. But I mean,
I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry.
Listen, Kevin Owens can do things that dudes that go to the gym every day can't. So, like, I mean, I've seen this guy do things that a man his size should never be able to do. So,
I mean, don't mock the R-Truth guy sitting right next to me.
He can have whatever physique he wants, because he could probably do like a suicide dive and I can't. So it's fine.
Moving forward, though, into the Kenny Omega Adam Page match, which I went back and watched, because at first I was like, was this match good? Like, at first, I don't know what it was, but for some reason I was interested, but I was also like, I was disinterested for a little bit. I don't know what it was. I went back and watched it, and I was like, yeah, this match is pretty darn good.
I was shocked that it was first.
I was too. Yeah, I was too. I was like, oh okay. You trying to get me going here, I guess. Yeah,
I tweeted something about like really, they're throwing this match on first. Yep. This could be like, they're really wanting to kick off the match of the show here.
You were my muse that night.
Yeah.
Because I said I'm just like, all right, because I'm watching the Buckeyes. I was out to dinner. I was watching the Buckeyes game and keeping up with what you were saying on Twitter.
But I mean, I thought this match was good. It had a very like hard hitting, maybe even a little bit more of a personal feel because of their breakup as a tag team. And I mean, I enjoyed it. I was a little upset that they just love Kenny so much. I mean, I get it. Technically, Adam got the shot before Kenny did. I get it, but yeah, like Kenny's another one. Like and it's interesting that we brought up this point earlier, but Kenny's one of those guys where I'm like, I know he's a star. I know he's freaking ridiculous. I know he may be one of the best in the world, but like, convey that to me. Tell me, like, prove it to me again. Like, that's what, because even you guys, like some of you guys who have watched a little bit more of Kenny, in terms of in AEW, have said like something's been off with Kenny. Like, it's been something. I mean, I like the what are the sweeper girls, the cleaning ladies, the cleanup women.
No.
He's the cleaner. He's the
That
cleaner.
that is so stupid.
Sweep him up.
the cleanup women. What do we call them? I mean, I kind of like. Anyway, I kind of like it. But nonetheless, I mean, I thought this was good. I thought this was a good match. It was really good. You know, two of the best. Another thing I kind of wonder is like, if I'm like, I was like, oh, AEW's cool. You know, let me put this $50 down for this pay-per-view. Then let me see. Kenny Omega, okay. And Adam Page. Okay, I'm ready. Okay, I don't know these guys, but I'm ready. But like, wait a minute, these gonna be the number one contenders for the title though?
Video manga.
Like, who are these guys to me? Like, tell me that Adam Page competed for the AEW title before. Like, let me know. Like, let me know he was in the thick of it, and let me know that freaking Kenny Omega is world renowned. Okay, let me know. Let me know, AEW. That's all I'm asking. I'm just asking for you to let me know.
Show those clips from New Japan.
Yeah.
Because that's where he made his mark, whatever, though. Show them kicking AJ out of the Bullet Club and him becoming the leader. Show him those matches against Okada. Show him those matches against Jericho. Like, oh, these guys have a past too. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah, definitely. Especially you put him in the ring with Jericho and see that he's sticking around with Jericho. Okay, I gotta see this guy then. If he's that good, yeah, I know Jericho. Okay, and that's just for like, because I'm always trying to think of it from a casual fan's perspective too. Because of course, I mean, I'm hardcore wrestling loving fan, but like not everybody's like me. So it's like, you know, I mean, but I enjoyed it. Of course, Kenny won. I wasn't surprised. I was a little upset because you know, Adam, that's my guy, and Casey knows Adam Page, that's my guy. The Hangman Page out here is my man. Okay, he is my dude. Okay, I'm starting the list back up again of dudes. I'm starting the list. Okay, but but somebody gonna take that out of context and turn it into a gift. Anyway, but yeah, this was good. I enjoyed it. Adam, how did you feel about Hangman Page?
Like I said, like I was a little surprised that they started it first, because I thought that was one of the important matches of the night, because I figured that would have been somewhere in the middle. But if you're going to start off the show hot based on the matches that were on there, I can understand that. So, but no, it was competitive. You're going to get your Kenny Omega spots where, you know, he does the Terminator spot, and he's going to do his finger pointing, gesticulating, and all that matter. I did like how, because Paige has been the sad drunk these last few months, and at least this time he came out with a little bit of fire, and that he seemed ready, because this was a big deal. Justin?
Yeah, okay, so speaking of him being kind of like a sad drunk and stuff, I hope that they don't have him. You know, I don't mind, when wrestlers drink and stuff, but I don't want them to turn his character into like him just being sad, like all the Brezza he didn't win the number one contender match. Like, I don't mind a happy drinking, like Stone Cold Steve Austin, having a fun time, drinking a beer, busting them open and stuff. I don't mind that. But when you're doing it, like your character's changing, like going into a dark place, I just don't like that type of drinking. Like, he just becomes a drunk, basically.
They got to get that tan in.
Well, not only that, like, it's like, buddy, you're not a 16-year-old emo kid. You're a cowboy. Cowboys don't get sad. They buck up and start whipping ass. Stop being such a mopey sap. But no, anyway, I thought this was good, hard hitting. I'll say this: JR, with maybe the exception of the Ultimate Deletion match, JR was on his game last night, or on Saturday. I'll give him that. He was on point. I did like the finish, because I liked how, because usually Kenny, it's just, he hits the one wing angel, no problem. This one, it was a struggle, because Paige knows it's coming, and he doesn't want to get caught. He doesn't want to get caught, and then boom, slips, bam. It was very well done. It actually showed that, Page registered the danger. Like, he can't hit me with this. He can't hit. Boom, lights out. So I thought, yeah, it was very, very good, very hard hitting, very competitive, which is my style of wrestling.
Yeah, I love the little struggle too. I thought that was a good little nuance that they put in there. Justin, thoughts?
I thought this was, a great way to open the show. Really hard hitting match, really personal between both of them. Former tag team, partners and champions, and going for to see who the number one contender is. This should be personal. They should, both want to win. I loved how personal it was. There was this really cool spot there in the match. They were fighting on the outside of the ring, and it was Kenny Omega. He hit this nice moonsault. Which, okay, there's one thing I have to gripe about with JR. He called it a hurricane run. I'm like, come on, JR. I mean, I'm going to let this slide because I heard some worse from other commentaries before. Like Michael Cole.
One move.
So I mean, it's just one move, and then he goes like, "Oh yeah, sorry, I flubbed up on that.
At least, and Justin, at least Don Callis, I mean, did a good job of saying moonsault, and then JR was like, okay, because I mean, it happens.
Yeah, exactly.
I do have to make one point. Don't ever put Don Callis and Excalibur in the same booth. They sound exactly the same. Every time, because, Excalibur's got that cadence. Hiroshi Katashi. Well, Kenny Omega has been in part of my family since he was 10 years old. Who's talking? Who is it, the Canadian or the weird Mexican masked man? What is happening? True. I did like later on in the night, suicide dive or Excalibur. What's your lingo? Tope suicide.
Also, there was another cool spot in the match where it was on the outside of the ring. It was Kenny Omega when he hit a pop-up powerbomb. Maybe it was Omega. I can't remember exactly. Yeah, the pop-up powerbomb on the outside of the ring. That was nice. And I was about to tweet something. I would love to see a V-trigger into a buckshot lariat. And then a few seconds later, they did that move, like a V-trigger into the buckshot lariat. Amazing. That was one of the best parts of the match.
I do have a question. And maybe Casey will agree with me for once on this one.
Nope.
Why does Adam Page take the time to go outside of the ring to do the freaking buckshot lariat? Like, I get it, it's his finisher, but like, it's the same thing we talked about with Randy. Randy got to throw you out of the ring, put you back in the ring. He sounded like Justin trying to pick against his division. Like, come on, man. Like, come on. Like, sometimes logically it doesn't make sense. And I get it. It's wrestling. Sometimes it's not supposed to make sense.
Wait a minute. Shawn Michaels is stomping on the mat. I don't think he's going for the sweet chin music. I don't think that's happening.
I don't think they should. Don't get up. Don't get up. We're all out of the ring.
Casey.
Well, first of all, I have to say I prefer Tope Suicida because it sounds so much better when the team is really hyped and they're like Tope Suicida. It's kind of like
Mamma Mia.
It's kind of like, and I know a lot of people don't watch soccer, but watch American soccer and then watch Mexican soccer because the commentators will be like, "Go!" It's the greatest thing ever. But yeah. So now you got me thinking about things that don't make sense in wrestling. Like, if you're in a battle royal, why are you trying to beat somebody down when you have to get them over the top rope? Or, why are you taking somebody on the outside when you have to pin them in the ring? Doesn't make sense. But, we don't think about these things. But again, this was one of the matches I didn't listen. $50 is a lot. And I watched highlights because $50 is a lot.
To quote Casey, was this free?
Exactly.
$3.99.
Was it $3.99? Because no, but from what I have been watching recently of AEW, because I do need to get back into like watching it regularly. You guys kind of touched on it too. We're not getting the same, we're not getting the same guys that we got before. Even with like the Young Bucks, we're not getting the same Young Bucks. I feel like we're not getting the same Kenny Omega. You're not getting New Japan Pro Wrestling Kenny Omega. You're almost getting Kenny Omega light in a way. And another kind of side note is, I kind of don't like when wrestlers start their own promotion, because I feel like it doesn't help you, because, say, the Bucks, I think they did win the tag team titles or whatever, but it looks like, you're putting the belts on yourself. It looks like you're kind of a mark for yourself.
Cody's a two-time TNT champion, by the way.
What's that?
I said Cody's a two-time TNT champion, by the way.
Exactly.
Two-time.
Exactly. And it's like, I get that you still, as a wrestler, obviously you want to be a champion, but if you're a champion in your own promotion, it looks like you're trying to put yourself over, and just in general, usually you kind of get, shit on for it, especially like in the lower indies. There are a few promotions that guys have put the belts on themselves, and it's just like, it's not a good thing.
They're hungry. They're on a power trip. They go like, I won all the gold. I'm gonna win every title here, even the women's championship or whatever. Like,
well, and I'm not necessarily like putting them down, because I love the Young Bucks. I love Kenny Omega. Love Jericho. Love all those guys. But you're gonna have to be more selective on when you put the belt on, the Young Bucks or Cody, and make it make sense.
And maybe it might not be them also be them making the decisions. Maybe, they might have a say in it, but like it might be more like the rioters. I mean, I know they kind of, are executives of the company or whatever, like Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks are, but maybe it's more the writers. Like they might be, like I said, might have a say in it, but it's not all them. If that makes sense.
You're correct. It's not all them, but still, like, I want to see younger guys get opportunities. Like, obviously, I still want to see, Jericho have another title run, and I want to see, Cody have another title run, and like the Young Bucks and all that. But I want them to do it right. I want them to, not always have the titles on them, which they haven't done. I'm not saying that they have, but you can very easily get into that territory where you start, or the writers or whatever start putting the titles on them all the time, and it's like, just don't do that. But yeah, anyway, back to my main point. Like, I wish we got a little bit more of the New Japan Kenny Omega.
Adam, do you have a point?
Everything Casey just said is 100% true. But here is my problem. Here is my problem with, just because they're part of the bigwigs. So I have to put them all in a collective sense. Early on, when they first started, Jericho being the first champion was 100% the correct thing. He's the established star. Go ahead.
Also, I like how when they first were doing like a tournament to decide, it was last year when they were deciding who's going to, win the tag team titles. I like how the Young Bucks, they lost, because they were like the number one seed in the tournament, and then they lost to Private Party. Like, oh, like everybody's shocked that they lost, an upset, which I like how they didn't put the belts on them right away.
Well, and that's what I was going to get to. I'm not even saying that they had to win the titles, but my thing is that I think that they were devaluing themselves early on, because especially with the press conference, because they were saying they're the best tag team in the world, and they jobbed to Private Party, and they thought that they were putting them over, but they did it in a fluky sense. Like, to me, if you're gonna give those guys a win, give them a win. And now if it was just a regular match, whatever, it's just Bucks versus Private Party, that's fine. You're like, hey, you got one on us. Next time it's going to be different. This is a tournament, and I think that they thought that we're not going to put ourselves over because we don't want people to think that we're because we're the big wigs, we're just going to put all the belts on us. But the thing is, again, it still goes back to you promoted yourself as that we're the elite, we're the best tag team in the world, this, that, and the other. You got to have them look strong early on. Again, and it goes back to show me, why should I care about these guys? Because again, the niche audience is going to know who they are. You're now appealing to the casual fan. They have this big buildup about these guys, and then right out of the gate, especially Kenny, he lost. So that's what I'm just saying. Like, to me, and again, this is probably just more of a nitpicky thing, whatever. But I wanted them to at least look stronger early on before they started putting the belts on them.
Yeah, and with that, like, that's one of the situations where, like, your gimmick can kind of bite you in the ass in a way, because, like, they did come in and say, we're the elite, we're the best tag team in the world. Okay, well, if you're the best tag team in the world and they beat you, does that make them the best tag team in the world? And then also with Kenny Omega, the cleaner worked in New Japan, because the whole thing was he was trying to clean up the division, and it worked. But now it's like, Kenny Omega, the cleaner. What are you cleaning up? The company that you helped start? Like, what? I
like the big bout machine better than the cleaner.
Yeah.
The cleaner, that was New Japan. Now you're in the States. You're appealing to people and you're on TNT. That was WCW galore. And this, you're trying to draw that Southern audience that went away from pro wrestling, 20 plus years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely moving into Orange Cassidy and John Silver, a surprising match for me. I don't know. I mean, and it's not that I had I thought it was going to be a bad match. I just didn't know who John Silver was. And then I watched him and I'm like, okay, I like this guy. And he ripped the man's pockets off. Come on, man. No, not the pockets. That's the whole shtick. That was I thought that was number one. It was hilarious.
I would say something about that.
Yeah,
when you rip out a man's pockets, I kind of have a comparison to like taking a Lucha Libre's mask off. Like that's disrespect when you take out their pockets.
Well, it was nice talking to you guys. I'm gonna maybe just head to bed right now.
I thought Adam was gonna put that in the please no box.
Like,
I don't have it anymore.
He doesn't have pockets.
It got thrown away. He doesn't have pockets.
That's not the please no box. That's the what the what?
It's
that's a Russo box.
It's like taking off a Lucha's mask. Like, I'm like trying to make a comparison with that.
It is in no way like taking off a luchador's mask.
But it's the gimmick with Orange Cassidy with him putting in the hands in the pockets. I don't know.
But yeah, this match was good though. I thought I was really surprised by this match, even though I like both of them. I like Orange Cassidy, and it's weird, because Orange Cassidy is funny, but at the same time I can take him seriously, which a lot of times I can't do, Otis. A lot of times I can't do it. Like, I can't take you seriously and you be funny to me. Like, it doesn't happen. But Orange Cassidy, he pulled it off. I don't know what it is. And he looked different tonight. I don't know what it was, but something about him looked different. I don't know if he changed his hair or grew his beard out or something. Like, something was different.
He changed his pockets.
That's what it was.
The different pockets.
That's what it was. But Orange Cassidy won this, of course, because John Silver is a bona fide jobber. A good jobber. He's a very good bona fide jobber, but he's a bona fide jobber. Casey, just so you can cheer up and talk about your boy here, did you catch the highlights of this match?
First of all, I wouldn't say he's my boy. I'm just saying put some respect on that man's name.
He's your dude.
He's a good jobber.
I said that.
You put some respect on his name. And have you ever seen someone rip someone's pockets out? No, you haven't. You have not. This man is revolutionary. Put the title on him now. That's all.
Okay, I'll take the taking the pockets is like taking off a luchador's mask. Not, well, this man deserves the title, pal. Come on.
Speaking of luchador's masks, let's go back to the person who made that point, Justin.
Can we not?
I thought this match was all right. I mean, there wasn't like really anything too special. Really, the only good thing about the match was Orange Cassidy getting his fucking sticking out.
I love how that's the highlight of this match.
But the right guy went over here because John Silver's a bona fide. I can't even talk right now.
Speaking of Justin, while we're on
glorified jobber,
while we're on the point of John Silver, Long John Silver sounds really good.
No, goddamn pal, this is what you do. You take a lighter and you set his pants on fire, and we'll call him Hot Pockets. That's right. Get him in here.
Oh my
god! Don't say that too loud. They'll give him ideas.
Justin, did you have anything else to say? Or
no, but I feel like the right guy went over here, and I feel like they need to put that TNT title onto Orange Cassidy. No, you don't agree?
It's a cop out statement. I will say this: he is a gimmick that does not need a title.
I mean,
that's just my opinion.
He's kind of like an R-Truth a little bit, like you could take him seriously, but I mean, you can't actually. No, you can't take R-Truth seriously. You can't. But no,
he's like Otis if Otis was good.
Okay, there you go. That's a good comparison. I like that right there. I like that right there.
First of all, R-Truth is a former NWA champion. People,
but I took him seriously when he was in TNA, but in WWE, I just can't. He's no.
I mean, Killings is in his name.
True. when you have the name Killings, like you go like, is this man gonna kill me? Like what? He's just.
I've never thought that when I've seen R-Truth, not one time.
Adam, please.
Get the please no bucks.
I got you. I don't have it anymore. It was my wife has those little Scentsy wax things that you put in the little tea lights, whatever. That's what it was. And she finally remembered. She goes, "What is this?" I'm like, "Don't ask." Don't ask. but no, like I this was an entertaining match. This was the perfect, if you want to call it, filler after a strong match. And again, this was fine. I will say this: you trim John Silver's beard, did he not look exactly like the referee? I'm like, did they switch outfits? What is going on here? Again, just I understand the appeal of Orange Cassidy and all that stuff, but just the nonsense with the tap.
It's the best.
But at the same time, what did pop me, even though I was like, why do I like pro wrestling so much? What popped me was John Silver going, "It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt."
You know what else pop? You know what else made me pop? When I love when best friends when they hug, like I don't know why that just makes me cheer every time.
I will say again, as cutesy as that is, I don't like the fact they do the Okada Rainmaker pose, and they just pan backwards. I'm like, come on, guys. There's only one man that deserves that camera angle, and that is Kazuchika Okada. But I will say this: I like, and I don't know if that's his legit finisher. I like Cassidy's finisher, that flipping snow plow. I thought that was pretty slick. But I mean, who in their right mind thought that Dork Order member number 75 was gonna go over here?
You said Dork Order.
Dork Order. So, but anyway, like I said, this match was fine. It was, it was some gaga. It was entertaining. And again, when Orange actually works, I'm like, I want to, like, I don't hate him. The silliness of the gimmick of, I can understand that, starting up before the bell even rings. But at that point, if a guy is doing that to you, why do you not just hate punch him in the face?
Because he's too smooth, Adam. He's too smooth. The man got his hands in his pockets and still dodging you. And hits the suicide dive, which is ridiculous. Why the heck would you do that? You gonna die.
Listen. You can't hit a man with his hands in his pockets. That's just bad form. You can't do that.
Exactly.
Orange Cassidy would be the perfect, figure for a little kid going, your yard, my yard. Your yard, my yard.
Exactly. It's actually pretty spot on.
Pockets.
Moving into the Darby Allin Cody Rhodes match for the TNT title. Very good match. Like I said, as soon as I saw, all I had to do was see the video package, and I knew Darby Allin was winning. So I mean, that kind of gave it away. But it was good though. Like I liked the video package too because it told me who. Finally, you told me who Darby Allin was. You told me who somebody was. That's what I wanted. Because I didn't have any idea. I mean, I've seen Darby Allin. I know of Darby Allin, but I don't really know Darby Allin like that. So it was nice to be able to learn about Darby Allin. Why the heck is his face halfway painted? I know now. Why is his body halfway painted? I know now. I get it now, and I can sympathize with it now. Like I was actually like, okay, if he wins, I wouldn't even be mad. I wouldn't even be upset at this point by the way they did this. But yeah, this was good. I was a little surprised they didn't play the little whole underdog thing with Darby Allin because he's small, but I like that he does moves that are ridiculous. Why the heck? This man just falls backwards, and I'm just supposed to be like what?
This can't go wrong.
And I've seen him take some sick bumps off of doing that, which, that man. But
Restful.
But nonetheless,
I'm Danny Dimes.
Hey, Danny got to win today. Hey, Danny got to win today. Okay, Danny's about to win this division. That's what's happening. Anyway,
against Washington.
I mean, we get a couple more players. We could go play in the NFC East. I promise we can do it. Raven, I could bring my dog out there, like Airbud.
I'll bring my dog also. You bring yours, Adam. There we go.
But
two of them.
I'll bring both of them.
Nonetheless,
we already almost got a team.
But yeah, this was good. I enjoyed it. I like the storytelling of it. It was very good. I like the fact that they let Cody get cocky. I was like, it's kind of a shame that Cody finally gets to be Cody Rhodes, and he's gonna lose. I was like, it's kind of a shame. I feel like Justin Roberts butchered his freaking entrance, his announcing him though. He does it so well. And then he was so excited to say Rhodes that he just flew through everything else. I was like, come on, that's my favorite part, Justin. Not you, Justin. That's my favorite part. Come on, what? Come on, I love the American Nightmare. I love it. I'm in it. Justin Roberts, one of the best. One of the best. He makes me feel like everybody, like, if he introduced me
Other
coming
than
to the door,
other than Tony Channel, Tony, if I can
I don't know if he's better.
Chimmel.
I don't know if he's
Chimmel.
better than Tony Chimmel, but he's good though.
I love Tony Chimmel's. I love his, like, when he says edge. I always love when he does that.
Rated R superstar.
Yeah. Yep. But yeah, I mean, yeah, this was good. This was good. Like I said, Justin, you gotta be better, bro. You gotta say Cody Rhodes now, and you gotta be better, son. You gotta be better. I was excited, like, cause I love how he does pretty much everybody's whole thing. It did feel like he was like a little weak tonight for some reason. Maybe he just does it for main events. I don't know. But he felt like he was a little off tonight for some or Saturday night for some reason. Like, it was like, you good, bro? Like, are you alright? But nonetheless, Darby Allin wins. I was a little surprised that Cody didn't turn heel here. Like, it felt like they were like reeling me in for that, and they didn't do it.
It's coming.
I'm certain it is. But nonetheless, Adam, thoughts on Darby Allin, Cody,
No,
Rhodes?
This was low key my favorite match of the night, and like you said, from the pre-match video package, it got me more excited for the match. My favorite spot of the match, and again, innocuous, but just for what it is. Cody flips to the outside. Darby goes to the ropes, does a backflip, and gets Cody to look around a little bit. And then he nails one of the stiffest suicide dives to the back that I've ever seen. And again, that's why I like Darby. Being undersized, he lays his shit in. It's believable. It's like, hey, I maybe only, 5'8", 5'9", 170 pounds, but you're going to feel every ounce of it. And how about the crossroads from the top rope? And not only that, I'm like, my God, Cody did that better than he did standing in the ring. I'm like, do that more often.
And the roll all the way across the ring to get his arm under the rope was good. What was good?
Yes.
Chemistry there. That was good stuff.
Absolutely. Like, yeah, this is the turning point, I think, for Cody. Like, because like you have to go heel now. Now, I will say this: if you go heel, change the hair back to black and let that sit for a little bit. I will say that. Because here's the other thing too. Because, and I think how you can do that is that you have Cody turn on Arn. Have Cody turn on Arn just because normally somebody of that caliber, and not to mention too, get the, don't have so many people have managers. Like, it seems like everybody's in a faction and everybody has a manager. I'm like there's no specialness to it. Like, I like Tully with FTR. I like Vicky with Nyla Rose. I don't think you need to have Cody to have a quote unquote coach.
Hey,
what I
remember
would
when
like
we
to
complained about WWE never using managers? AEW was like,
we're gonna have all of them.
I actually want to say
Please
something
have
about.
managers.
I just want to say something about like factions and like the managers. See, it was like earlier back in like the summer, saying, "Oh, they're going to be making like another Four Horsemen or something like with Cody Rhodes and all that." I wouldn't mind to see have Cody Rhodes kind of be the head front of the this Four Horsemen type of team. Make like a faction over here or something like that. I mean. I don't know.
No, well, yeah, we'll see. My thing too is his dad had allegiances. Like, he didn't necessarily have a full-fledged faction. Like, because he always had Magnum. He always had the Road Warriors, but they weren't called the Dusty, or whatever. So like he was friends with the right people. But just in this instance, I don't think Cody needs Arn, and this is nothing against Arn. If you ask me, back in the mid '90s, who were you if you were part of the Four Horsemen? I was always an Arn guy, because Arn he drove home all the promos. I mean, Flair was Flair, don't get me wrong, but I was always an Arn guy from work, etc. What I think, this is what you can do. being that to give a little bit of control to the roster and maybe have some semblance of consistency. And again, this is just strictly for TV. Make Arn the authority figure, not like McMahon, not like, but like a Bob Armstrong or Bill Watts in Mid-South and in WCW. Make him be the strong figurehead because it's Arn fucking Anderson and people aren't going to mess with him. But he could also, in storyline, whatever, those still take a few bumps here and there. I mean, Grant, I'm not saying he has to have a full-fledged match, whatever, though, but he could still physically get involved somehow. Yeah, but anyway, not to go on a big side tangent, but anyway, no, it was a very good match. I'm happy for Darby. And the more I think about it, to me, this was the necessary outcome because Cody put him over by going to the time limit draw. It's like he took this guy for granted. I'm like, man, this guy's tougher than I thought. Like, he didn't win, but he didn't submit and have his shoulders pinned to the mat. The next time, Cody does just a little bit of heel tactics and wins. This time he, got way too cocky whenever he's doing push-ups and this, that, and Arn's telling him, no, just beat him. And Darby comes away with the win. So yeah, this was low-key my favorite match of the night.
All right, so Justin?
Yeah, I thought this was a fun match. I kind of like the kind of whole storyline behind this, like with Darby Allin kind of being an underdog. Like, a lot during this match, like every time Darby Allin tried to get some offense in, Cody just went. I like how he attacked his arm during the whole match. Like, he worked on Darby Allin's arm out a lot. And also, I want to go back to about, like, I love when Darby Allin does his suicide dives also. Because, like, yeah, he just hits a, like, when, like, different wrestlers, like, they do suicide dives, like, they kind of pull up with it a little bit, Like, when they're about ready to hit the other guy. But with Darby Allin, he just goes 100% of them, which I love that. It makes it believable. And also that crossroads at the top rope, that was nice during the match. And
what about the arm wringer body slammed over the top rope?
Oh, that was nice.
Stage. Bam.
That was nice. Yeah, like the very methodical, Cody Rhodes, he was just working on his arm during the whole match. And, Darby Allin, he just had to fight to get back into this match. I like this kind of underdog feel type of storyline. And also, I don't like how they call him the Prince of Pro Wrestling. Like, dude, you're not Triple H. Come on, like, quit trying to do that. Like, I don't want you to be a Triple H and like win a whole bunch of titles, like win every single title, like have like a 70-time reign or how many times, 14 times or whatever. I don't want you to have like a, just take every title and bury everybody. Like, please get rid of the Prince of Pro Wrestling. But
the King of Kings, the Prince.
Yeah, like, no. I mean, I understand, back when AEW first started, when you smash in the throne. But no, you just should have left it there, and like you shouldn't even, like I said, you shouldn't be called the Prince of Pro Wrestling. But
you made your point. You don't have to have another shot thrown at them. We get it. You're trying to be different. Yeah,
I mean, we understand that. Like, the whole ratings war, like, yeah, I understand that. Like, but you don't need to say that every single time. Like, but it was a good match. I enjoyed it though.
I mean, he's part of wrestling royalty, so I mean,
I guess so.
I mean, a lot of people would say his dad was a king. I'm just saying. He is one of the greatest of all time.
But he wasn't the king of the cruiserweights. Casey, thoughts on this?
First of all, and this is to you, Adam. I am offended as a manager. How dare you say we don't need more men? How dare you, good sir? I'm
talking about AEW.
Well, they need C.R. O'Malley.
I want to see C.R. O'Malley in there. You trust me. I've seen some of your promos. You are way better than half these schmucks.
I mean, hell, I will go with the gimmick and I will manage Hornswoggle. I'll do it.
But if you don't do it as Thunderbolt Patterson, I'm not watching.
If you move,
I'm full up to here.
But it has to be in a match against like a 7 foot guy. I'm full up to here, and then he goes, so like to here.
Lance Archer, hi.
Please, somebody book this. I want to do this so bad. I am full up to here. Okay, little guy. But first of all, DJ, I could have told you about Darby Allin. I could have told you about no, but I am a huge Darby Allin fan. Since the very first time I ever saw him was in Florida, WrestleMania weekend, and like I was blown away. The crazy things that he did, the way he kind of, throws caution to the wind. He'll put his body on the line.
So he's your man scout?
Yeah. I've noticed it's weird. I haven't seen the Man Scout in any big promotion. I'm just saying. But no,
He's overlooked.
I like him.
He's overlooked.
I like him.
Please sign him. Please sign him.
He's a good guy. He's a good guy. But no, like at that show when I first saw him, I was talking to one of the merch stand guys, that was working for the promotion, and he was talking about how like Darby Allin like pretty much has no fear, and he'll just do things to see how it turns out. Like he'll be like, you know what? I wonder what happens if I jump off this 20-foot ladder. Let's just find out. Like he doesn't worry about the outcome. He doesn't worry about, if it's gonna hurt him, which I like that about him. But definitely surprised also that he won. I didn't expect it, just because like, you got Cody Rhodes, and so I was surprised that he won. From what I've seen, it was a good match. I saw the highlights that Adam sent me. That would be definitely a match I want to go watch. Hopefully they put it on Watch Wrestling or something like that, because I'm just saying I'm broke. It's a struggle out here.
You need to get back to the t-shirt sales.
I'm trying. People don't try. ProWrestlingTees.com/CR O'Malley. Get you a t-shirt. I get a portion of the purchase. Anyway, but I definitely I agree with you guys. I see a heel turn with Cody, and he definitely does need to go back to the darker hair. I personally never liked the blonde hair on him. I don't know. Just wasn't me. Just wasn't for me. But I am curious to see what they're gonna do with Darby as the champion. If they have him drop it this week, they probably will. Let's be honest.
He's gonna have a Sasha Banks run.
Please,
they're gonna be like, huh? What would WWE do? Drop it. No, I know. I could see them keeping it on him. And I hope they do.
Getting into the Akira Shida and Nyla Rose match, which had a terrible ending. Like they had so many points of good endings for this match, and they did that. But anyway, Nyla Rose should have won. And they're already planning dissension with her and Vicky. They got together like a month ago. Like, it's the reason I watch her.
I think it was back in July they got together.
Yeah, like a month
about a week ago.
But yeah, like, I mean, I think Nyla has to get the title with Vicky, like we said in the preview. or the Vicky experiment doesn't work. Because Vicky doesn't necessarily, and I want to say makes Nyla bearable, but like she piques the interest levels of a lot of people. I think a little bit more because she's Vicky and she's annoying, and it works with Nyla. So yeah, they made the wrong move here. That's just how I feel. They made the wrong move. I mean, I like Sheeta, but I mean, I just and like I said, I wasn't watching AEW a lot when near Nyla's first run. I didn't hear a lot of good things about her first run. I don't know if it developed her character enough during her first run either. So yeah, I as Adam said, 0. So I don't know. Like on one hand, I'm on the fence about it, but like it typically for kind of floundering or struggling division, a heel champion does help. And a heel champion with a good manager is even better. So that's why I think this will be good because a lot of times, I mean, you know, we love wrestling, but a lot of times the faces, especially in a division that's struggling, does not, you know, they just don't do as well. They don't carry as well. I would rather see the heel get beat than the face continue to win a lot of times. So, I mean, look at Roman in the Universal title. But anyway, yeah, this was okay. I mean, I like Nyla, but at the same time, like she's just okay to me. Like she doesn't like wow me. She doesn't like blow me away. So yeah, and the ending was weird because if I'm not mistaken, and I could be mistaken, wasn't there a point where Nyla was working on Sheeta's knee, and then she hit her with the
she
same
was working on her knee
freaking
a lot. Like
she hit her with the same knee that was injured.
Yep.
Shouldn't be as powerful. Shouldn't beat Nyla, right?
Like, where's the continuity at with it? Like, there was none. I mean, that's sometimes in wrestling, you know, like well, if that person has an injury to some certain part and they use that in the match, like why are they using that certain like limb?
No continuity, but the Young Bucks did a perfect job of it later on in the night. But anyway,
well, that's one of my biggest pet peeves is the continuity with like injuries or working on a limb, whether it's a leg, whether it's, you know, the elbow, knee, whatever, is like, first of all, sell it throughout the match. Keep on that limb. You know, if you're working on somebody's right knee, first of all, remember that you're working on their right knee, and then don't later in the match go working on their left knee because we pay attention. And then also, the person taking the punishment, sell it. Even after the match, sell it, you know, getting out of the ring, sell it, walking back through the curtain, because if you stand right back up and act like, you know, so-and-so wasn't working on your knee for like 20 minutes, it kills the whole thing. But yeah. That was my little 2 cents there.
Definitely. Casey, just go ahead and give your thoughts on the match. What you thought of it?
I didn't see this one, so that was my thought.
Oh, that was easy. That was easy there. That actually that speeds up the process, Justin.
You know, I didn't. This was probably the weakest match on this show. I mean, not knocking any of these women because I mean, it was an alright match, but I feel like I don't like Nyla Rose that much, and her type of style, like having Hikaru Shida, you know, change her different, you know, pacing and different style, you know, to try to work with Nyla Rose. I mean, they just didn't mash up very well together, not at all. But I mean, they tried, and also this women's division is like really lacking right now. I don't know what it is. I don't think it's really the women over here. I think it's them not booking this division correctly, like actually giving them time to be out there and like actually get us interested in a feud. But I mean, this match, I tell you, there's one spot I actually liked in the match. The Falcon Arrow off the top rope. That was actually pretty cool. That was pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, pretty
It's
cool.
cool.
That was pretty cool by Hikaru Shida. But other than that, and I definitely do agree with DJ how she should have, sold that her knee injury more during the match. But I kind of like after the match when she did retain the title, the referee was helping her go backstage, so that was actually pretty good. But I don't know. I felt like they just need to do something to get me more interested in this women's division because I'm more interested in what the NWA women's division is doing on AEW.
I'm more interested in watching Dr. Britt Baker do anything. What?
Exactly. They need a. I don't know what they're doing with Britt Baker right now. They need to put the title on her. Like seriously.
Adam, your thoughts? I mean, of course, you've seen Nyla Rose's original run, so.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. They killed her. They killed her early on. You have somebody like that. Like the fact that you would make somebody like that your champion, just because like I'm sorry, like I can't suspend my believability of Riho beating somebody who's 180 pounds heavier than she is. I just like I'm sorry. Well, someone go, well, Rey Mysterio, but the thing is, Mysterio fought in his weight class for a while before he even flirted with the main event scene. But and again, that's just me. This was the problem of the booking of this match. If you wanted to get Shida over more, and if you wanted to get her, God, she's getting killed out there, but man, she's still fighting. Whatever, though, this should have been a little bit of a slower pace. And Nyla is just beating on her and beating on her. They were having Nyla try to go beat for beat with her, and she was blown up.
Yeah,
not even
bad.
10 minutes into the match. Like when she was running the ropes, whatever, though, like she's trying to mock Shida, fuck you, and then gave like the most plotting knee strike I've ever seen. I'm like, what are they doing? Because somebody like that, I don't want somebody like that to show their cardio and this, that, and the other. Like I said, the flow was butchered in that spot. Because I'm like, guys, you can obviously see that she's gassed. This was not the way to go. Building up to this early on, whatever. And I wouldn't even, if they were gonna put the belt on Riho at first, let it be somebody closer to her size, whatever. Because again, like at that point, you needed to build Nyla as just this murderous killer in this division.
Like put her in all these squash matches and stuff.
And that's what I'm saying. God, there's nothing wrong with squash matches. It gets them over.
Like get a local wrestler on there and let them get squashed.
Feed her James Ellsworth, for God's sakes. Mitch McConnell Jr. But in this instance, I would have been okay with that finish if it was a knockout. Because with that many, like what they do with Riddle, when he's got somebody down and he's just pounding and pounding and pounding, the guy can't take it anymore. I would have been okay with that. But you just said it. If you're going to have the flow of the match where said person is working on the other person's body part, that should be an indication of they're trying to take away that person's finish. Like if you wrestled Jake Roberts, you were working on his arm so he couldn't hit you with the DDT. That's what you go with. I've seen it work perfectly, with the exception of the Bucks match later, DJ, like you said. I've seen it work live in person one time. It was perfectly done. It was Jay Lethal versus Jonathan Gresham. Gresham was murdering Jay Lethal's arm. So much so, Jay Lethal tries to go for the lethal injection, and when he bounced off the ropes, he collapsed. It was perfectly done. He won with a small package. It's like he had to go deeper to try to sneak out a win. So yes, consistency, continuity. If you're going to work on a body part and you still lose from the part that you were trying to work on, what did it matter? So anyway, it's nothing against these girls. I know they tried. I think they needed a different mindset to go about. And look, I'm no booker, and this is with the benefit of hindsight, but you watch that. It's like, why were you trying to have Nyla try to go beat for beat with Shida? No, slow her down, because they and you hear that all the time from the commentators. The slower this match goes, the more it benefits the bigger person. This goes the speed route, it benefits Sheeta. So it was not a believable flow of this pace. But
yeah, these two styles,
Sheeta
they
winning, that's
didn't
fine.
mesh up. Like these two styles
Did not
didn't
mesh
match.
at all.
Not mesh.
Like
Yeah.
Shawn Michaels and Diesel worked because Michaels is working his speed, whatever, though, but all it took Diesel was one shot to change the complete flow.
Well, and to add a little bit, and I don't know how they book matches in AEW. I don't know if they have, obviously they have like agents for, matches and stuff, but I feel like they almost need their agents to book the match, like the actual, like, bell to bell, except for like guys like Jericho, the really experienced guys, but like, look at each person in the match's strengths and weaknesses and book the match that way, so that they're not thinking okay, what do we have to do in this match, or what should we do. Have the agents spell it out for them. This is what we want you to do in the match. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, well, that takes away the independence from the wrestlers. It takes away their creativity. That makes the show better. It makes the matches work, especially younger, because a lot of these guys in AEW are still relatively young in the business. That not all of them have been in the business for 10, 15, 20 years. I was saying it the other day. Butcher from Butcher and the Blade, he's only been in pro wrestling for 5 years. So it's like, obviously, he has a partner who has been in the business for longer, but take the help where you can get it. What's that?
What you say?
No, I'm not saying Pepper Park. I'm not
Parks,
saying
man,
it.
Pepper Parks. Yeah,
I won't say it. I won't do it. I won't say it. But yeah, just like, if it helps make your show better, I feel like you got to take that sacrifice places, because at the end of the day, it's going to make your match better. It's going to make more people like you. It's going to make more people want to watch your matches. Just my thought.
Looks like Adam had a point, but I'm not certain. But
no. I was just going to say. I mean, the psychology of a match is not that difficult. Babyface shine, heel cuts him off, gets the heat. Babyface comeback, finish.
Exactly. And I don't understand, like, their all-out match was a lot better than this match here. Like, I don't know. It was just weird.
So, having difficulties here. Nonetheless,
you need a better set there.
What? No, my mic stand fell over. Okay. Anyway, we ain't gonna talk about what my mic stand actually is. The Young Bucks.
It's a cup. It's a cup.
How do you know? The Young Bucks versus the FTR, not the FTR, but FTR. Another match I thought was really good. I like weird, once again, continuity. Weird thing that they did. Why did Matt Jackson start this match when he's hurt?
Yeah, we were talking on the phone. Like, yeah, why was he starting this match?
Why? That was weird, but I mean, he wants to be a tough guy. Cool, I'll take it. He sold his leg the whole time, and of course, FTR worked on it. Once again, we talked about it before. With Cody getting too cocky, FTR got a little too cocky. With doing flips, which is not their MO.
You know what to say? No fists, no flips, just fists.
Yeah, no fist, just fist.
And they didn't stick to their scheme of things.
Right. They didn't stick to their scheme of things.
And if the Baltimore Ravens stick to their scheme of things, it could have been like the Ravens and win.
Exactly. Yeah, but we ain't gonna remind Casey that until pick come around. Anyway, anyway, but this match was really good. I enjoyed it. It did kind of not that it felt underwhelming, but like you guys said before, it didn't feel like it was the Bucks of youth from previous eras or anything. Um, so that I mean, but it was still good. Like I still really enjoyed the match. I was still like, this is awesome, and not in the generic chant way. I still was like, this is a really good match. I really enjoyed it. Of course, the Young Bucks did get the win because of the stipulation. Of course, they did get the win. But I mean, very very good match. Very good storytelling. I think in this match. Of course, FTR stuck to their game until they didn't, and that's kind of what cost them at the end. But yeah, I mean, Matt just did a good job of selling that leg. Like even when he performed a move, he sold it. And really at the very end, until the very end, he really sold it, which was good. I did notice that after this match, which was weird, that the commentators did not like. One of the commentators, and I think it was Excalibur, was trying to say, "Hey, not Kenny Omega, Adam Page is watching in the rampway," but like for some reason, I don't know if they didn't want anybody to notice, or they didn't. I mean, they wanted us to notice, but they didn't want the commentators to say anything.
Wait, Adam Page is watching in the. I didn't hear him say.
Yeah,
that.
He was like I saw like the and like and
somebody's lurking in the shadows.
Oh, actually, okay,
Yeah.
I remember that now. Yeah, yeah.
Well, and two, it was one of those things where I mean, I think the camera angle was designed for that. This match had a really good camera angle for a false finish, which I feel like WWE fails at a lot. Like you don't want to see the false finish coming. If I see you coming from a mile away, I know you're gonna break it up. It was one in this match where I think FTR broke up the pin for the Young Bucks, which was amazing. Like the like they had the camera facing to where he had to come from the back end of the camera where you couldn't see him run in, which was great. But yeah, at the end of the match, Kenny Omega came out and he congratulated the Bucks, of course, and then Adam Page was standing at the kind of in the tunnel, and they showed him, and I think it was Excalibur who said, "What who is that?" Like he said something, but then nobody really acknowledged it. Like no, like the young Bucks didn't acknowledge it, even though they literally looked that way. Not FTR because they were facing the other way. Kenny Omega didn't acknowledge it, even though he was looking the same way the Bucks were. It was just weird. The commentators didn't acknowledge it. It was like on one hand they wanted us to see it, but they didn't let anybody else acknowledge it. It was I don't know what the heck that was. I don't know why they did that. It was weird. But anyway, Young Bucks are the new AEW tag titles, which I do really like those titles. I think they look really good. But let's jump to Justin real quick. Change it up a little bit.
This match was, in my opinion, was match of the night right here. I mean, both of these two teams, like neither one team really had like a full like advantage. Like it was really even during the whole match. And also, I tweeted out on Twitter. I said this was a great history lesson in like really awesome tag team wrestling, because you had the Young Bucks kind of they were pulling out moves from like the Dudley Boys hitting the Team 3D. They also hit the Twist of Fate and the Swanton Bomb. Kind of seeing who they emulated. Growing up. And with FTR, they were the more old school type of team, emulating like the Hart Foundation hitting the Heart Attack during the match, or even hitting, or being like the Steiner brothers, which when they hit the Bulldog off the top rope.
That was really good, Justin. I forgot about that. That was an excellent point you made about them like using some of these other moves, because number one they have history, but of course they know the history of tag teams. That was excellent.
And when I think it was Cash Wheeler, he hit the Bulldog off the top rope, and he did a suicide dive. I think it was onto Nick Jackson on the outside of the ring. That was nice. Like he went flying off the ring apron. And also I like the point you made how they were working on Matt Jackson's foot the whole match. That was nice. That was really good. They even took off his boot. This was good. I mean, I wouldn't surprise if we see more matchups happen with this team, like these two teams, because was really good here. And also, I like the finish here. The finish was amazing. They cut FTR. They were getting really too cocky, and then I think it was Cash Wheeler. He did a 450 splash. I wasn't expecting that at all because no flips, just fists. And they hit that kind of back. Matt Jackson moves out of the way and hits a super kick with the edge of your foot. I go what? Like why didn't they just use his other foot? But it was good though. I enjoyed it, and I'm happy that the Young Bucks are new tag team champions.
Well, how is he supposed to press off of that foot, Justin?
What's that?
How is he supposed to press off of that foot to hit the super kick?
Yeah, I see your point there. Yeah, you're right. Because I see that right there. But I kind of hate the kind of like the storyline behind this. If we can't win, we're never going for a title. So that kind of books you into a corner. Okay, they have to win now. They have to. But no, it was good though. I enjoyed it. I really did.
Adam.
This was a really, really fun match. I mean, which. It didn't blow me away because it was exactly what I expected, and by no means is that necessarily a bad thing. Like I said, the story element of it was kind of loopy just because of what this could have been a few years ago. And I'm not saying that FTR needed to leave WWE, per se, but I mean it was just such this build of the best tag team in WWE and the best tag team in the Indies. And, with the fuck the revival and this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. And I talked about this in the preview show of, you bring them in and you have FTR save the Bucks. Like, why? But, and like you said, Justin, when you have put in that stipulation, you're backed into a corner because you did it before and Cody lost. And he eventually still got a title, but that he's not ever going to fight for the world title. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But this was fine. My only objection with them doing all those finishers, Heart Attack, 3D, Twist of Fate into the Swanton, everybody kicks out of them. Like those are special. If you want to incorporate those throughout your matches, fine. But you did it all in one match. I'm like you're killing those finishes. Like if I'm Bubba Ray, it's like, hey, I don't mind if you do that, but let that lead to a finish, for God's sakes. But Bubba ain't gonna care.
Because I think we even said many times before, like when you're hitting your finisher multiple times and they keep kicking out, like that kind of devalues your finisher. Like, okay, yeah, this finisher ain't that strong. It's like I just hate when finisher fest. You know what I mean? And
yes. It's kick out. Everybody has endless power. I mean, the only thing I was waiting for is, all right, Nick, go get the Gatling gun. Because, again, Steiner dog, and again, 3D, etc. And I can be okay with, like, the Heart Attack being kicked out of. Cool move, cool finisher back in the day, whatever, though, but that's of yesteryear. I can understand that. I mean, 3D, that's one of the most over finishes for a tag team ever. And particularly the Twist of Fate into the Swanton. Yeah. I mean, that's, boom, boom. That was the early version of bang for your buck almost. I will say I was okay.
Also, I also like, there was one more thing I want to talk about. I like how they made a reference to DIY. That was nice. Yes, that was nice.
I was a little surprised that they were not allowed, but I'm surprised they used those specific 3 letters because everybody was like, well, wait a minute, that was anyway. It's still just
it took me a minute to think about it. Like, wait, they're talking about Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa.
But I liked the build up to it because Cash was like telling Dax like, hey, and Dax is like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, he was confused.
And he gets his hand up, and then he knew what was coming. Like, so at least they polished it a little bit.
Yeah.
Now, I was okay with the super kick with the injured foot. It's hurt. Your adrenaline's flowing. You have the strength to get that one last shot, just that one last shot, and plow. And he still sells it as he's falling down for the pin. So I accepted that. But like I said, fun, entertaining match. DJ, I love that you pointed out that, because that was a perfect shot. Because it was not telegraphed. Because it's 1, 2, oh my God, and then the very last second, here comes a body. And I do like the fact that Dax and Cash both, in a situation like that, both go, that's two. That's two, right? That's two. I got in there in time, because again, they're accepting that, holy shit, we almost lost. And I'm glad you mentioned too about the title belts. It's like a combination of a few belts, particularly the base of it looks like the old WCW tag titles. Right? Again, and they look like championships. But yes, those are low key my favorite belts of the biz. But yeah, fun match. This was one that was going to be hard to follow, but I do think the upcoming matches did just that.
Exactly. Casey, what were your thoughts on the Young Bucks in the titles?
The revival sucks. I'm just saying. Fuck the revival. Again, from what I saw, it was a good match. I will say, and we've talked about this before. Finishers aren't even a thing anymore, honestly, because a finisher is supposed to finish the match. It's supposed to be, end the match. And if it doesn't finish Al Snow was talking about this. If people constantly, kick out of your finisher, it's not a finisher. It's just not. Also, do they know that they committed gimmick infringement by stealing all of those moves? It's a sad world we live in. But I want to see what they do with how long the Bucks hold the titles again, because they are kind of owners of the company. So are they going to keep them for a while? Are they going to is it going to go like a hot potato thing, or are they going to give a younger team a chance? Or are they going to put somebody over? There's a lot of things that they could do. Also, another thing that I forgot to mention when we were talking about Darby Allin, a lot of people kind of overlook him, but I think he's the kind of guy that a lot of like veterans would love to work with, being the fact that he does lay stuff in. A lot of guys, that you'll work with in pro wrestling, especially veterans that have been in the business for 15, 20 years. They want you to lay things in. They want to feel it. And if you don't hit them hard enough, they're gonna hit you as hard as they want to be hit. So I feel like a lot of guys would love to work with him, because he's a small guy, but he's going to put all of his power, his entire body, into a suicide dive or a drop kick or whatever. I definitely like that.
Yeah, definitely. Moving into the Elite Deletion match. The Elite Deletion
Oh,
match.
man.
Which I really enjoyed. Somebody had posted, what's been the best one. Of course, the one with him and Jeff. The one he did with Bray and WWE, and then of course this one. And I think they've all been good in their own right. And it's kind of hard to even pick one, to be honest, just because they've all had their own, nuances that I think made them special. This was cool though. I did like how how Matt drove up and was like and crushed Sammy's. Well, it wasn't he didn't even have a monster truck. Sammy had like a friggin'
He had a golf cart because
yeah.
if you I don't know if you watched their Stampede their arena, what was it? No, it was their Stadium Stampede match at Double or Nothing. Matt Hardy, he was driving in a golf cart or like one of those go-karts for like at the arena. Not a go-kart. Yeah, golf cart. And he chased after Sammy Guevara in it. And so they were kind of playing off of that a little bit. Saying put him Matt Hardy in a big monster truck. Hey, saying that he's bigger than him, I just want to say something, and I'll let you get back to what you were saying. I like how when he when Matt Hardy ran over the golf cart, he was like, "Yes, this was orgasmic," and he said that. I also like when he said that this was a squash, basically. That's funny. But you go back to what you were saying, though.
Yeah. That's what I was gonna say. That part was really funny. It had some, of course, funny parts in it, but it was also cool because we hadn't seen a match like this in a while. To see some of the returns, Senor Benjamin, of course, Rebby came in at the very end playing the piano. Neo won now, of course, because Vanguard 1 has been destroyed, or Vanguard, whatever it was at the time, had been destroyed. That was cool. The concerto looked brutal near the end. That pretty much what I think was the end of the match. That looked really brutal. And it was cool to see a lot of the returns or a lot of the kind of, I guess, debuts, but like mainstream wrestling type returns with Gangrel, Hurricane. It was funny that of course, Gregory Helms got thrown off of the thing. No, Hurricane got thrown off of the thing. Gregory Helms comes up as the reporter.
Yeah, he gets thrown. Yeah, Hurricane gets thrown into the water,
Yep.
and he comes back. He comes back as himself, Gregory Helms. I think that's funny.
Right. Yeah. That was funny. He comes back as himself, and then he gets thrown into the water, and then Hurricane pops back up, but he's completely dry. I thought that was funny.
What's that river? What's that pond called? It's called the redemption, or like the fountain. I can't remember. What's he exactly call it?
I can't remember right off either. But the dilapidated boat made a return, which was cool. And you were asking the whole time, where's the boat? Where's the boat? When we were
and the
watching
fireworks
this.
also.
Yeah, the fireworks. I mean, like these are hard to explain because there's so much going on, but at the same time, it's so chaotic, but so fun at the same time. And I like how they continue to kind of incorporate what made these so special before, from the final deletion and all of those things previously. I've enjoyed these. I thought it was good. Of course, Private Party came out. They showed up. I think that was all who showed up. I'm missing somebody, but I can't think of who it was right off the top of my head. But nonetheless.
Oh, I figured out what the lake is called. It's called the Lake of Reincarnation.
Yeah.
So when Gregory Helms gets over, he gets reincarnated back into Hurricane.
Yep. Yeah. So, excuse me. That was funny though. I enjoyed it. I thought this was really good. Interesting to see a cinematic match when there's a crowd in the audience. An audience in the crowd, I think is what I was trying to say. But anyway, when there is a crowd, it was interesting to see. And I like that, number one, the commentators still did commentary with this, because that was kind of new. But at the same time, I like that they had the crowd react too. That I thought that was cool. It was kind of cool to see kind of live reactions with this. But Justin, any additional thoughts on the the Elite deletion?
I thought this was very entertaining. Like this fun match here. I like how they, like you said, they sprinkle like different things out of all their other deletion matches. Like it was awesome. Like, especially like you said, when he pulled up, both of them, like, it's funny. He goes like, "Yeah, this is orgasmic," and he goes like, "Yeah, I just squashed it," and all that stuff. That's funny, and especially with Private Party coming in there, and I just love it. It was fun. And I kind of like how they went back. So at the All Out pay-per-view, when Matt Hardy had this concussion, I kind of don't like how they, Matt Hardy did that. He did the concerto. I don't really like that because they're kind of playing off. Oh yeah, he got the concussion. Like you don't play off somebody else's like injury like that. But I understand.
I hate you, by the way.
Yeah, that's funny there. But no, this was really fun. Like different things sprinkled in at different moments here, especially the Lake of Reincarnation. I love that, and seeing Gangrel, it was just awesome. We saw him go fight into the garage. The garage door gets shut. I like that, and then the boat comes falling down. Amazing. I go because during the whole match, me and DJ were talking on the phone. Like, when's the boat going to make a return? When we're going to see them shoot fireworks at each other, and they were shooting fireworks at each other, which was awesome. But I like when they actually got into the garage and they actually had a little match going on in there. I like the kind of like the Swanton bomb off of the top of the ladder. That was pretty cool. I even like when Matt Hardy he did the spear into a table. That was nice. Like the table should have just been on fire. Also, the table should have been on fire there. This was fun. I really enjoyed it, and seeing Senior Benjamin at the end there. And I asked each other, like, where's Senior Benjamin at? Where is he? And finally, we see him at the end there. And Rebby, amazing. I enjoyed it though. This was fun.
Definitely. Adam, thoughts on the Elite deletion?
This was a match. I will say, even the dog agrees. Like I knew what I was going in, what it was going to get into. Again, it was going to be out of over the top, out of control, borderline silly. But that's fine. But here's my problem: the fact those guys commentated this almost killed it for me. Because in my instance, like you can't put commentary to this. That's
also
no.
Before you move on with that, I love LJR. He said on commentary when threw Hurricane into the water because it is hurricane season. Like oh my god, that was
it is hurricane season. I'm like, and that's what I'm saying. I'm like that little stuff like that kills the flow because I remember when Jim Nance and Tony Romo were, calling guys falling off the ladder and guys being thrown into the Gatorade bucket and coming back out as a new player. I don't know. Like, just to me, they should have just kept it because I don't think there's ever been any commentary in any of the cinematic.
No, there hasn't
even
been
in TNA. Yeah, so that's why I'm like, anyway, I don't know, but no, this was fun. I will say the fact that I didn't mind Private Party and Gangrel. And by the way, I didn't realize Gangrel was that jacked. Even in his heyday, I'm like, damn, dude's got guns. But the fact that they kept switching back to the ring where those guys are just fighting while Matt and Sammy were just away, I don't know. Certain things. I'm not trying to pile on this too much because no, it wasn't meant to be taken seriously. And Casey with the Michael Tarver, right? I can't stop looking over there. Oh, anyway, this was fine. But yes, that was my favorite spot of the match was the spear through the ropes, and especially after last time, I understand why they had that camera angle of they waited a few seconds and then they showed the carnage and Sammy's bleeding, and I'm like, thank you. I will say it's one thing I like about AEW is that they don't mind a little bit of color, but that chair shot was awesome. Of how
they sold that really well.
And all that. Yes.
But like I was saying, I don't really like how they play off somebody's actual real injury, with the concussion with Matt Hardy. And people go I see even some people on Twitter go oh, he's injured. Like, this is for storyline.
It's just for storyline. Yeah.
It's all right here, guys. It's all right. It's not that
Yeah.
serious.
If you guys are worried about a concussion, again, need I remind you, they use Jeff Hardy's real life drug and alcohol abuse into a storyline.
And with that being said, Casey, I should kick you out for that. But anyway, Casey.
I mean, speaking of just storyline, Dak, it's just a storyline. He's not really injured.
He's not really injured. It's just a cramp.
It's just a storyline, guys.
He needs to go into the lake of reincarnation. And then he'll have 2 left feet.
It's just a storyline. It's fine. But guys, no, I really like Zoom. I think we should continue to use this. No particular reason why, but I just feel like it's a good program. It's there's a lot of good features on it.
Can we get the Please No box back?
Oh, we will.
Please?
He has a graphic of it. He could put that behind him. Just go.
Hold on. But from what I've seen of this, I really like it. I would love to be a part of like a cinematic match like this. I feel like it would be so much fun, just like because you can re-edit, you can edit things, you can redo things, like you can make it perfect, which you normally can't do in pro wrestling. But again, all the cameos are always good. I was super excited to see Gangrel again because, I mean, like I said, he's still working, he's still wrestling, he's still running his wrestling school. So like I've seen him, on the indies and other matches, but to actually get to see him again on kind of a big promotion, it was a good thing. I definitely like that. So, but I definitely want to go and watch this match again. I don't like that smile.
Also, there's another thing I want to add about the whole thing with now you just made me lose my train of thought. Thanks, Casey. Thank you.
It's my fault.
I just lost my train of thought now. Thank you. Adam.
Anyway, MJF, Chris Jericho, MJF's in the inner circle. I like this. I love that Jericho brought in the Lion Talk. I thought that was cool. This match was kind of slow, a little bit. I mean, of course, Jericho's Jericho, but I mean, and a little bit older, but it was a little slow, I think, for my liking too. But I did like how I did like how Jericho kind of, and the commentators did a good job of mentioning this. Jericho kind of had to pull out some different moves because MJF knows, kind of has studied him and knows him so well or whatnot, which is good. But nonetheless, MJF is in the inner circle. Don't have much to say about this match. I like these two though. I really do enjoy these two. Go ahead and give your thoughts too while you're at it.
Okay, I realized about the last match. When me and you were talking on the phone, DJ, I was saying, since that match was pre-recorded and stuff, like Sammy Guevara, he's probably in outpatient care right now after all of the spots he took in that last match. But no, that's really one thing I want to add about that. But this match here, it was all right. I felt like after all this, I feel like this show was starting to run long here. I was like kind of getting a little tired at this point. I mean, not this was a bad match. I was saying it was just more of a slower match, after these two matches we've seen. But I like seeing MJF kind of do, stuff to do whatever he had to do to win. Like with him pulling out the Eddie Guerrero, this laying out, I just love that. That was awesome there. Or, doing the roll up, pulling onto the tights, because Chris Jericho said that he didn't have that mean streak. He couldn't do anything to win. And MJF was
he was the one that was soft.
He was the one that was soft. SAWFT. Soft. I had to say that there. But no, it was a good match. I enjoyed it. And now MJF is part of the inner circle. Good matchup.
All right, Adam.
Yeah, this was fine. It's a little, I don't want to say redundant, but it's hard to get into. This wasn't going to be a fast paced match because it's a heel versus a heel. But the psychology to it, whatever that I get. Even though I will say Chris was the babyface in this match, and again, to me, this needs to start going in that direction because, to me, Jericho's done all he can, and now the young blood is in the group now. He's got to be the one that wants to take power. And yeah, like all the the cute spots we know again with the bringing in the bat, and he gives him the flips the bird and does the Eddie Guerrero thing, and miraculously it led to a finish. My God, that was so refreshing. But there's one thing I do have to say, that Chris Jericho is getting slower as these matches go on. He cannot throw a punch anymore, and it's depressing. It's just like when they got onto the top rope and he was just going. I'm like, dude, you used to lay your shit in, And now, granted, I think that's why he developed this kind of Bruiser Brody, Stan Hansen type character to make it a little bit more vicious. So it's a little bit of a pass, but there's some spots I'm just like, ugh. But yeah, this match is fine. I am interested on where they're going to go because they can't be necessarily, they have to have there has to be a little bit of a divide, or this could be the point to where this is what drives Wardlow to become the face, because now he's got to take orders from two assholes, and they already had that little dissension with MJF and with him and then MJF a couple of months ago. They really haven't polished that off yet. So I don't know, but yeah, this match was just fine, and I like, to me this has got to be meant for MJF to go over.
I was a little surprised though too that they let Warlow in. I thought they were gonna do a little thing where MJF gets in and he kind of leaves him behind or something. Because it was interesting how Jake Hager looked at him. Afterwards they kind of had that little stare down, but nonetheless, Justin, did you give your thoughts on this match?
I did get my thoughts on this match. Yeah,
okay, I want to make sure
Casey hasn't.
Casey.
Well, I've heard.
Hey Casey, can you mute yourself?
No, I can't. It's weird. Zoom doesn't have that feature. I don't know why. It's weird. But so nobody's gonna talk about the please nobody. No, it's fine. I put it up there. But from what I heard, good match. I wasn't sure how they were gonna book it, considering it was heel versus heel, and that you can either do, and this goes with face versus face too. You can either book it really well, or it can just be the shits. But again, you have Jericho in here, who is one of the best. Even though, yeah, like Adam said, there's certain things that are not as good as they used to be with him. But he's still one of the best. And then you have MJF, who is this generation's best heel. I think hands down. So you kind of have, in a way, this was, and they're not that far apart, like generation wise. I mean, kind of, but this is kind of like the Hogan Rock match, like that generation versus generation, where Jericho was the perfect heel of like his generation. Now he's kind of passing the torch on to the current best heel in the business. And I think this eventually will turn into him fully kind of, passing on the torch to MJF, because really I can't think of anyone else who is a better heel than MJF in the business right now. I really can't. But
Yeah, I definitely agree, Casey, with that. Moving on to the main event of the evening, which was Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston. A very good, very brutal, dirty, gritty match, which I liked. I don't think we expect anything more from either one of these two, really, especially Eddie Kingston, because this man's ridiculous. There was thumbtacks, there was barbed wire that actually finished the match, which I liked the bully choke at the end to finish the match with the barbed wire. That was good. That was really good. The selling in this match was really good. I mean, I'm sure they were actually in pain in a lot of these instances, so selling is a little bit easier when you're actually in pain. The freaking alcohol spot. Oh, I could feel it. Oh, I could feel it. Oh, when he went through the. Oh man, when he went through the tax and then I mean, I've never, and it's crazy how simple that is. Like how simple of a spot that is, and actually how healthy of a spot that is technically. Um, and it never gets done. Nobody ever does that. And I mean, I know it hurts. I mean, it might hurt worse than like some of the other things that happen in the match, to be honest. But like that was a unique spot that I've never seen done before. I've never seen anybody take rubbing alcohol and just douse you in it. Like that was that. I mean, that was like really wow. Okay. I mean, like the simplicity of it on top of like it just made sense. It's a really good spot. I felt like I said, the bully choke at the end with the barbed wire wrapped around his arm. That was good. I think that was a really good way to end it.
What's the choke called? The bullet choke?
The bully choke. I think it is called the bully choke.
I thought it was a bulldog choke.
I think he calls it the bulldog choke, but Brian Kendrick called it the bully choke, so that's probably why I call it.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. But I mean, same difference.
Yeah, same.
But very good, very good match. Very physical, very personal. It felt like they did a very good job with this match. And they had spots in there that really made you feel like, yeah, I'd quit right there. Like I'd quit right there. The alcohol part, specifically for me. Yeah, I'd have to quit on that one. But yeah, like, I mean, I could just imagine just pouring peroxide on it, like as cold as that would be. Like that would be like, and that would even hurt. It would just be really cold, and then alcohol, no, like oh, the fact that he took that anyway. Very good though. Excellent match. Excellent main event. Very good way to end the show. I like, of course, the little bit of blood. I think this match is like the perfect indication of why AEW is just that little bit different, that little bit edgy. They're still within kind of the whole like regulations of the new wrestling and how wrestling is. The chair shots to the head and stuff like that. I don't think it was in this match, but it was in a match that I saw where somebody used the back end of the chair to hit somebody in the face with it, which I've never seen anybody use a chair like that since they've kind of taken out the whole chair shots to the head type deal, which is of course this one being one that you can sell a little bit easier and take a little bit easier. But yeah, this was good. I really enjoyed it. Very good main event. Very good way to end the show. Let's get to Justin.
Yeah, I thought this was a really fun match. There's a really cool spot I liked during the match. They had the chair like sitting out kind of, and Jon Moxley did a suplex onto like the seat of the chair. That was nice during the match. I also like how they brought.
I mean, Justin, Eddie Kingston took the back end of that chair. I think he can survive.
Yeah,
I think he can survive.
He survived that. I also like how the commentary team, when Eddie Kingston brought out the thumbtacks, they were just they were selling the thumbtacks. They're like, "Oh, it's so devastating, bro! Thumbtacks." I mean, they even did a close-up zoom on that. I go like, they haven't even used the thumbtacks yet. Like, just settle down there, guys. Settle down. I also like how they fought out in the crowd and stuff. That was pretty good. I wish they would have fought more around the arena. You know, like went over to like where the football stadium was, because you know these two arenas are connected with Daly's place is connected to the Jacksonville Jaguar Stadium. So I kind of wish they would have explored a little bit more. You know, they went a little bit more creative with some of the stuff that they were doing. Not that this was a bad match. And you know, this was like really personal between both guys, which was awesome. I also like how they brought the barbed wire bat into that. You know how Ed Kingston, he was unwrapping off the barbed wire, just punching it into the face of John Moxley, and we saw blood coming down the face of Moxley. That was nice. And also I like how you alluded to when John Moxley took off some of the barbed wire and, you know, used it for the bully choke. That was really, really nice, you know, to make Eddie Kingston say I quit. And I also like how we saw other in the WWE I quit match. I like how the referee wasn't asking the competitors 24/7, do you quit? Hey, I'll call it off for you right now. I like that. But I kind of wish they did have a microphone to put it kind of in their face, say, hey, you know, do you quit? You know, because you can't really hear them say, yeah, I quit. Because that's what they used to do back in the day. And maybe because since, you know, with all COVID and stuff, maybe they can't like put the microphone in their face and, you know, they don't want to spread germs. But still, I mean, they could have done something, you know, had the ring area more, you know, mic'd up and stuff or something like that, like they've been doing in WWE really good. But no, this was fun. And I like at the ending how we saw John Moxley and Kenny Omega kind of have like a little face to face, you know, the number one contender and the champion. That was really nice at the end there. But no, it was a good match though. It was really fun, you know, really intense.
Yeah, and it was cool because they had fought last year at Full Gear in a match that was similar, you know, in this nature. But Adam,
yeah, because wasn't I think it's called the all like it's something like the lights out some type of match or something like that. I can't exactly remember, but no, it was fun though.
Adam, it's on you.
Yeah, the lights out match with the spiderweb barbed wire, which I got a kick out of because they're hitting each other with real barbed wire with the baseball bat and the broomstick. They go into the bed of barbed wires, no blood. Just minor nitpicking, but anyway, no, this was absolutely perfect. Like again, you knew it was going to be a slugfest and be brutal, and they went above and beyond. And again, it was gritty, it was personal. If the Ultimate Deletion match was not on this card, I think they would have taken that into the crowd across the way into the stadium. But like that would have been overkill with doing a match in a field and then they take it all the way out and do another match in another field.
And also the show, like I went talking about earlier, like this show, I felt like this show, like towards the end, it was dragging on forever.
Yeah, it was about halfway into this match. I did have a little bit of like, okay, the show's starting to kind of overstay its welcome, but the match was so good that I let it slide. Yeah, and plus, you know, from the ring all the way out, you know, to the field, whatever, that'd have been a long way. That would have been, yeah, true. Yeah, you can only do so much. Hit, stumble, hit, stumble. But, you know, and it's not like they're doing the cinematic match and stuff, you know, where they could, like, you know, especially like what they had with the Stadium Stampede match at, what was it, Double or Nothing? You know, they can't, like, having a whole bunch of bodies, like, you can't do it like that, but still. Right. Well, and plus, I think they played at Jacksonville today, too, so. Yeah, but the show was Saturday, yeah. But anyway, but no, I like this. I loved the finish. Eddie Kingston is going to be a great babyface one day because I mean, right now he needs to be where he needs to be because he needed to be a threat to somebody, and that somebody was somebody who he knows personally, who has a lot of history with. And I loved that pre-match video package with them in the ring, nose to nose, and Moxley's talking about, it's like, you made a promise to your mother that you can't keep, and Eddie's, because they had that whole thing, which I wish they would go back to that, like, you guys can't touch at all before the match happens, and if you do, the match is off. So there's just that extra jab in the promos. And this, to me, also reiterates why their main event scene is fantastic. There's a lot of stuff that's filler that I can critique and nitpick and stuff, but their main event scene has been awesome since AEW started.
Yeah, definitely. Casey, you got any thoughts on the main event?
Well, first of all,
that's not a good thought at all, Casey.
That's not good. Yeah, that's bad. That's really bad.
Yeah, because they stole my idea.
What's your idea?
They blatantly stole my idea. I said, if I was ever in a death match, I would bring rubbing alcohol. Because, I mean, you've seen guys, put literal salt in the wound, but they took my idea. So much worse than salt. So much worse. And healthy. I would be helping you. I would be... Anyway, but speaking of barbed wire, and I think DJ will fully agree with me on this. In fact, I know he will. The only thing they need to add is the barbed wire trampoline that CZW uses. Because I mean, if you've never seen the barbed wire trampoline, that is something you need to see.
Yeah, they need to do a cage of death match. They need to do that. Those matches are crazy.
I'm just talking about the trampoline. You want to go all crazy. Like, anyway, but yeah, I didn't get to see this match, but this is definitely one that and we talked about this on the preview. We had no idea who was going to win this match, because how do you make either of these guys quit? How? I'm still convinced that nobody won this match. I'm convinced. I think you guys are lying to me. I think neither of them won because neither of them said I quit.
And Casey too, like, we always talk about I quit matches making somebody look weak. I don't feel like Eddie Kingston looks weak at all after this match. Like, I'm not like, you know what? That's not one tough son of a gun. Nope. I'm like, yeah, I would have quit too. I would have quit on the alcohol.
Yeah.
Doesn't get choked with barbed wire, the pussy.
But the only thing that I can't see, and I think Adam said this, that he's going to make a great, that Eddie King is going to make a great babyface. Just from my experience with Eddie Kingston, I can never see him as the babyface. I just can't. He's like, I can much easier see him telling a 5-year-old kid to fuck off. Like, listen, just because I've had a few drinks. All right.
Much easier.
Sounds
much
as bad as me.
That's
great. Google it.
And that's saying something.
Easilier is a word. First of all, easilier is.
Casey, just real quick. I hear what you're saying, but Eddie falls into that category as what is there to hate? I mean, granted, he has his style, whatever, but he doesn't do anything. He doesn't do anything like an MJF or like what Jericho would do. Like, he goes like, I'm going to go and I'm going to kick your ass, and he goes out and kicks your. So I mean, like, you can't, like, he doesn't have. he doesn't have to like to do the classic run-in type thing. Whatever. Like the fans, I think, will turn him face.
Well, and I can see where you're going with that. I would almost, and somebody's going to be like, how could you say that? Never say that. But I could see him more as like a kind of more like an Austin, like this generation's Austin, where he's going to be a face, but he's still not afraid to flip you the bird. He's not afraid to drop the F-bomb. He's not afraid, and if he has to, if he feels he has to attack another babyface, he's going to do it. Like that Austin thing, where I would see more of like that with him personally. But those are my thoughts. That was much easier than I thought it would be.
Yeah. It definitely. I think with that being said, we must all be getting tired at this point. With much easier. Casey making up words. But nonetheless, we definitely hope you guys enjoyed. Then bring you back to the grab where you can see all the ways to watch us / listen to us. Plenty of ways, whatever you like, whatever your preference may be.
Whatever's easier for you.
Exactly. And the reason that I say we're Googleable, because you may see a way here that you're like, Spotify, and you might want to listen in a different way. So, Google us, you'll find us, whatever you want. You can watch us in whatever way you may want to. But thanks to everybody for coming by. Of course, the viewers, we love y'all as usual. But the people on the panel tonight, of course, with Casey, me. Why didn't I say me first? Me, and me. Me, Casey, Justin, and Adam. But nonetheless, definitely hope you guys enjoyed the show. We'll see you guys on the next one. Of course, we got plenty of discussions. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Nick, Saint Nick, if you're watching right now, you probably never go by Saint Nick. But anyway, we will be doing your request. Hopefully this week is what I'm hoping. With some of the time that we got. But nonetheless, hope you guys enjoyed.
Inevitably, the funniest review that we would do this would have been week.
Exactly. Yeah, he spot on. I couldn't have said it better myself. But nonetheless, hope you guys
enjoyed. I hate
enjoyed.
you so much. I hate all of you.
Hope you guys enjoyed. We'll see you guys on the next one. Picks coming soon as well, so look out for that. We'll see you guys. Adios.